Hi everybody, Mrs. Slenton here. Sorry I am not there with you today on your test qualifier review. We will have another review day next class, and then our test is on Wednesday, the 26th, so next Wednesday. This note sheet is meant to help you keep track of all the formulas since we've learned so many, and then see kind of how they're connected. So make sure you're writing all these down because it's really going to help you on the test. The first shape, this left side over here, these are all the two-dimensional shapes, and we're finding the area for all of these. So for parallelogram, the area formula is base times height. And then for rectangle, a lot of times kids were taught length times width. That's the same thing as base times height if you look at it. So we'll write area equals base times height for the rectangle too. Hey, guess what? Base times height also gets you the area of a square. So all of those quadrilaterals in the top row there, you can just multiply the base and the height and you'll get the area. The square, the one special thing is that both of these sides will be the same length, so you just multiply one side by itself again. All right, then when we go down to the triangle, remember that's half of a parallelogram if you draw the rest on there. So what we do is the area of a triangle equals the base times the height, and then you need to divide that by 2. Okay, for the kite, we actually cut this up into 4 triangles. A lot of you had shortcut ways to figure it out. The one way that'll work every time and is the easiest for people to see is cutting the kite into 4 triangles. So right here is 1, you do base times height divided by 2, figure out what that is, and that actually ends up being the same number as this triangle right next to it. So then the bottom 2 triangles end up being the same as well. So you'll find one of those and add it twice. So next to the kite, we're going to say cut the kite into triangles and then add those areas. Okay, so that's the kite, and then the 2 shapes below are trapezoids, and remember the trapezoids, you need to find the bases. They're always the parallel ones that will never cross, so those are the bases on that one. These are the bases on the one on the right. And the formula is you take the height, you multiply that by the 2 different size bases, base 1 and base 2, and then you divide that by 2 because we added 2 bases together. So we need to divide by 2 to average those out is what's happening. So this on the right-hand one, since it's a right trapezoid, the height is just that side right there on the left. On this one right here, the height is in the middle of the shape. So you really just need to look at those carefully before you decide which pieces you put where in your formula. Okay, so now we'll go over to volume. And the volume of a rectangular prism is just length times width times height. The volume of a triangular prism, remember, is length times width times height divided by 2 because, again, it's a triangle, so it would be like a rectangular prism but cut in half. Okay, surface area is a little bit trickier. Remember, for the surface area, we did front and back. Those 2 are the same. We find the areas, which is just length times width for all of those. Length times width, or you can think of it as base times height. Then we do the top and the bottom. Those are both length times width, and they're the same as each other. Then we do the 2 sides, the right and the left. On your notes, you should be writing these words out so that way you remember which words to write out when you're on your test. Okay, and then you would add all of the sides. Okay, triangular prism is similar. I'm just going to switch colors here. Remember, first, your job is to find the two triangular bases. Those two are going to have the same area. So base 1 and base 2 is how I always label them. And it's the two triangles. It's base times height divided by 2. Base times height divided by 2. And they should be the same exact measurements. And then you have 3 rectangles in between. So we have the bottom, the left, and the right. The right one's a little slanty. And those are all just length times width again, or base times height, however you want to think about it. You multiply the two sides of those rectangles. And since they're rectangles, you don't divide them by 2. You add all those sides up, and you will get the surface area of your triangular prism. All right, one other thing you might want to add on here, when you're labeling volume, it's units to the third power, units cubed. Surface area is whatever units you have, centimeters, inches, whatever, to the second power. And then area over here for all of the shapes on the left is always, units squared for area as well. Some people are getting a little confused about how to label all of their answers. All right, I hope this helps. Feel free to email me if you have questions. Otherwise, I will see you on Monday and we'll be reviewing again. So you'll be able to ask questions when I see you then. Have a great day.